words, whatever you call it, whoever you are, you need a family. You need a family. You need somewhere you call home. If you don't have a place you call home, then you're not going to have rest. You're not going to have peace. You're not going to have a place where you can be yourself. You're always going to be acting. You know, one of the things that took my wife back is seeing me outside the house and inside the house. Like a lot of people don't believe that I'm an introvert, but when I'm outside the house, especially when I'm in a place I'm comfortable, people think I'm an extrovert because I get to joke with people, relate to people, and I'm outgoing, as it were, but those have just come by training, they come by training. And also, I love people, right? But that doesn't change who I am. At my core, I'm a reserved person. I'm a reserved person. Also, I grew up as a reserved person. So, uh, another one given to too much excesses, right? But by reason of maturity, I need to get to cope with all people's excesses. But that's not home for me. That's not uh that's not my resting place. That's not where I find my rest, my peace. I come from a conserved um uh world, as it were. That's what home for me, but the reality about life is that it's not what you want, right? Life is what it is. You make the best of what you have. You don't get what you want all the time, right? You make the best of what you have. And my life is making the best of what I have, what I meet. I've heard a lot of people talk about me and say, "Oh, that I don't there's a word they use for it. I'm only assuming, as it were. You know, uh, and we all have unconscious bias, but I don't let my unconscious bias have the best of me. I cannot try to recover on time. When I see someone, my unconscious bias kicks in, but whether I allow that unconscious bias to have the mastery over me or not will determine whether I win or lose, right? It's a natural thing to have unconscious bias, but being able to catch it on time and use it rather than allowing it to use you is the difference between boys and men, champions and losers, right? Uh, and yeah, So, but there's a place called home where you don't need to do anything extra. You just want to get home and just be yourself. When I'm at home, my wife is surprised I'm not all of that jumpy, all of that, because as an introvert, right, we have just so much body count. We can do so much of those gymnastics, and our energy runs out, and you need to just go into solitude to regain energy. We crave for solitude. A lot of people don't understand what the difference is between an introvert and an extrovert. I think it's whether you are noise making or not noise making, jovial or not jovial. All of uh uh those are not the real things. Those are not the substance. The real substance of that differentiates between whether you're an introvert and an extrovert is where you get your energy from. Extroverts get their energy in public with other people. They are charged when they are talking to people. Introverts don't. Introverts lose energy in public. They find energy in solitude. So introverts crave for solitude. Extroverts crave for crowd or for people, right? So, but irrespective of which one, where you find yourself, we all need family. We all need a place where we don't have to act, where we can be ourselves and yet be accepted as belonging. Well, yet be seen, be heard, and be loved. We all need somewhere, someplace like that. It makes us human when we find. When we don't find, we're always active. We're always on the road. We'll never find home, you know. So it's important, and the one who created us said it is not good for man to be alone, right? He said, the man that I created, it is not good for him to be alone. He needs to be in family, That's why he says he places the solitary into families, because the way he has created us, we need other people to come alive. We need other people to come alive. We can't come alive on our own. We need other people to come alive, but either by being in a place where you can speak, you can be your personality, your talent, your giftings, can find a purpose, can find a place, or it's just uh is just being in an environment, where you come alive. You come alive because you are seen, you're heard, you're loved, but we all need family. We all can do with family, you know. So no relationship, relationships are quite like the ones we have with our families, right? For better or worse, our family members are often the people most involved in our lives, right? When we're young and developing, and who know us for the longest stretch of time. Our families are the ones who know us for the longest stretch of time. So our families know us for the longest stretch of time. So they are the ones that we can relate with, you know. So our family is, in a very real way, part of who we are, because we um when we relate, we rub off on one another, when we relate, so families, leave a coloration in who we are. That's why you see people that come from the same family have some attributes together, other than the genes, just a time of speaking together, time of rubbing on one another. It's the same way husband and wife, tend to look alike because energies are always interfacing with one another. They It's that place where we say that every communication corrupts, right? When two spirits rub on one another, they leave a bit of themselves upon themselves, And so families we have a way, people have a way of influencing one another when they spend time together, and that's what family does to us, right?